when she said forever. If you asked me back then, I would have said she was the one. Not just some romantic fantasy, not some high school infatuation. No, she felt like home. Like the kind of quiet you wait your whole life to find. Her name was Kayla. And God, the way she said my name made me believe in things I had no business believing in. We met in college, second semester. She sat beside me in our Psych 203 class, legs crossed, eyes darting between her notebook and the professor like she was trying too hard to look uninterested. I noticed her the first day, but she noticed me the second week when I answered a question nobody else dared to. Kayla, leaning over, whispering that was bold. We're just stupid. Me smirking, sometimes it's the same thing. She smiled, and that smile, it had hooks. It started with study sessions, turned into coffee dates, then late night walks back from the library that stretched until 2 a.m. She wore these oversized hoodies, mine eventually, and talk about her dreams like they were just waiting on her schedule. Kayla, one day, I'll be in New York, running my own gallery, and you'll come visit in the winter, and we'll pretend to hate the cold. Me, why pretend? Kayla, because if we say we love it, it means we'll stay. Me, and if we stay? Kayla, then you're mine forever. That night, we kissed under the street lamp near the East Quad. The light flickered twice, like the universe was warning me. I ignored it. We fell into rhythm. I knew her coffee order. She knew my worst fears. We talked about the future like it was a book already written, and we were just flipping pages to get there. My friends liked her. My mom adored her. She made everything feel like it was finally making sense. I even started looking at apartments off campus for the next year. The us year. She said she wanted to paint our living room light gray. For calm, she said. I should have known right there. You don't plan for calm if you know a storm is coming. There were signs. Texts she wouldn't show me. Sudden weekend trips home that didn't make sense. New lingerie she wore once, then tucked away. A phone call she ended the second I walked in. I asked once, jokingly, who Derek was, because his name popped up on her screen when she left it charging. Kayla, laughing, oh my God, he's so gay. Chill. So I did. I chilled. I trusted her. Like a fool. The night everything cracked, it wasn't even dramatic. No cheating in my bed. No lipstick on collars. It was small. Stupid, even. She left her iPad open. Unlocked. She never did that. I wasn't snooping. I swear. I was just trying to find the playlist she made me, the one she said reminded her of us. Instead, I found another playlist, titled 4D. I clicked play. The first song? Sweater Weather by The Neighborhood. Our song. Except, not anymore, I guess. I went deeper. There were messages, screenshots, emails, photos, all of them, all of her, all of them, together, smiling in ways she never smiled with me, holding hands, in the same hoodie she said she lost, and in one message, my name, Derek. Does he suspect? Kayla, not a clue. He's too busy thinking I'm his future. Derek, you're cruel. Kayla, I know, but you love that. I sat there, frozen, not crying, not yelling, just empty, like she had reached into my chest and taken something I didn't even know was mine. Trust, safety, belonging, all gone. She came back later that night, with Thai food and a smile. Kayla, hey babe, I got your favorite. She saw my face, saw the iPad, and in that second, she knew. And you know what she did? She sighed, not panicked, not guilty, just annoyed. Kayla, flat, you weren't supposed to see that. Not, I'm sorry. Not, it's not what it looks like. Not even denial. Just pure, detached exhaustion, like I was the inconvenience now. Me, how long? Kayla, does it matter? Me, I gave you everything. Kayla, and I needed more. I didn't sleep that night. I just laid there, on the couch, while she locked herself in my room, our room, texting him. I heard her laugh through the wall. The same laugh that once made my world brighter. Now it echoed like a funeral hymn. And that's where I'll stop this part. Because the worst wasn't the cheating. It wasn't the lies. It was what she did next. And I'm not ready to say it yet. But I will. After that night, something inside me shifted. I wasn't even sure what to feel first. Rage? Grief? Shame? I think it was shame. Not because of what she did, but because I let it happen. Because even after reading all those messages, I still wanted to believe there was a part of her that loved me. How pathetic is that? The next morning, I woke up to the sound of her showering. She always took long, steamy showers. Only now, I imagined him being the last person who saw her body. Not me. That image burned into me like a cigarette pressed to bare skin. She walked out in a towel, acting like everything was fine. Like we didn't just implode the night before. Kayla, casual, we should talk later. I've got class in 20. Me, talk now. Kayla, sighing, what do you want me to say? Me, tell me why. Tell me what the hell I did wrong. Kayla, you didn't do anything wrong. Me, then why him? She looked down, tied her towel tighter, avoided my eyes. Kayla, because I felt seen. I felt alive. Me, so I made you feel dead. She didn't answer, but silence can cut deeper than words ever could. I wanted to scream, to break something, to leave, but I didn't. I stayed, and that was my next mistake. Over the next week, she kept acting like she was the one who had been wronged. She moved through the apartment like I was some bitter ex she couldn't shake off. No guilt, no sadness, just cold. She started bringing her phone to the bathroom, started sleeping on the edge of the bed, stopped saying love you. Not that it mattered anymore. The words were hollow now, rotten from the inside out. One night, I confronted her again. It had been eating me alive. Me, are you still seeing him? Kayla, quietly, yeah. Me, are you in love with him? She hesitated. That hesitation was a gunshot. Kayla, I don't know. Maybe. I packed a bag that night. I was done, or so I thought. But she didn't let me go so easily. She played a different card. The next morning, I got an email from the dean of students. Subject, formal complaint notification. Apparently, someone had filed a report against me, claiming emotional manipulation, verbal harassment, and controlling behavior. I read the complaint. It was her. Kayla. Every word in it felt like poison. Twisted, exaggerated, some of it outright lies. She wrote that I was obsessive, that I tracked her location, that I demanded to see her messages, that I was emotionally abusive. She even attached screenshots, cropped and completely out of context. Ones that made me look like I was unhinged, like I was the villain. My hands shook reading it. I remember physically shaking, because suddenly, I wasn't just the heartbroken boyfriend. I was now a case number, a threat. I tried to confront her, not yell, just talk. But she slammed her door in my face. And 2 hours later, campus security showed up at our apartment. They asked me to leave, said it was for everyone's safety while the case was being reviewed. She stood behind them, arms crossed, eyes dry. Kayla, it's for the best. No emotion, like she hadn't just detonated my life and walked away from the fire without a scratch. I moved in with a friend, started skipping class, started spiraling. Because how do you defend yourself from lies when the truth sounds crazier? Hey, she cheated on me and then filed a fake report to destroy me. Who's going to believe that? She was calm, collected. I was a mess, and I was playing right into her hands. Weeks went by. The investigation dragged on. I lost a scholarship, missed midterms. My name was whispered in lecture halls like a ghost no one wanted to see. Friends stopped texting. Professors gave me looks. I was guilty before I was even allowed to speak. And she was thriving, posting selfies, hanging out with her new friends, tagging Derek in stories with little heart emojis and captions like, "When someone finally sees you for who you are," smiling face with hard eyes. Yeah, they saw her, and no one saw me. The final blow came during the disciplinary hearing. She walked in with confidence, wearing a soft gray sweater, the same color she once said made things feel calm. Kayla, I don't want to ruin his life. I just want to feel safe. I almost laughed. Safe? From me? The same guy who cooked her dinner 3 times a week, who stayed up late helping her prep for job interviews, who let her paint my walls and name our future dog. And now I was the danger? They let me speak. Barely. But the damage was done. I wasn't expelled, not fully, but I was suspended, forced into mandatory counseling, lost my housing, lost my place in a program I'd worked 2 years to get into. Kayla? She cried in the hallway after the hearing, but not because of guilt, because Derek didn't show up to support her. It's strange, the moment you realize you've hit bottom. Not because of a dramatic breakdown, not because you're crying in a rainstorm like in the movies. No, it was silent. Just me, lying on a mattress on the floor of my friend's spare room, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., with no job, no girlfriend, no future, no reputation. That was the moment, and something in me snapped. Not the kind of snap where you lose control, the kind where you take it back, where you stop begging for answers and start building your own. I started collecting everything. Every screenshot, every message, every voicemail, every timestamp. Kayla was careless. She never thought she'd need to cover her tracks. But I had the receipts. Text from her saying she loved me the same day she told the dean I was threatening. Photos from her stories showing Derek at our apartment before she claimed they started dating. Recordings I had saved where she laughed, flirted, whispered that I was her everything. But that wasn't all. What really tore the mask off? Messages between her and her best friend Tasha. Tasha didn't like me. She never did. And in those messages, Kayla admitted everything. Kayla, I think if I make it look like he's unstable, it'll make the break cleaner. Tasha, so you're gonna flip it on him? Kayla, yeah, it's easy. He's already emotional. I'll just tell the dean he's been manipulative. Tasha, damn, cold, but smart. Smart. That word haunted me. Because she wasn't wrong. It worked. I printed it all. Every bit. Built a damn folder thicker than a law textbook. And I walked straight back into the student conduct office. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I presented. Sat down. Handed over the folder. Looked the administrator in the eye. Me. I suggest you read it all before you tell me what kind of man I am. They took it seriously. Eventually. Not at first. Institutions never wanted to admit they were wrong. Especially not about something this messy. But once they saw her messages, her timelines unraveling, the inconsistencies in her complaint, they called her in. She tried to lie her way out. But it was too late. Within 2 weeks, my suspension was reversed. They gave me a formal apology, quiet, private, useless. My scholarship wasn't reinstated. My grades couldn't be recovered. My name? Still whispered in the halls. But now with uncertainty. Some people started asking questions. Others just looked away. And Kayla? She vanished from campus soon after. No explanation. No goodbye. Just gone. I later heard from someone that she dropped out. Or transferred. Or maybe Derek dumped her and she couldn't handle the fallout. Does it matter? The real problem was me. What do you do after that? How do you return to life when yours was publicly butchered? The anger doesn't fade. The shame doesn't disappear. The ache in your chest doesn't stop pulsing. I tried therapy. Briefly. But every time someone asked me to reflect, I saw her face. Every time someone said, "You're safe now," I remembered security dragging me out of my own apartment while she stood there with her arms crossed. I couldn't let it go. Because she didn't just betray me. She rewrote me, turned my pain into her weapon, and walked away untouched. Months passed. I rebuilt slowly. Got a job. Transferred schools. But something inside me stayed broken. Not in a tragic way. Not in a way that makes people want to hug you and tell you it's going to be okay. In a quiet way. Like a piano key that will never play the same note again. Then one day she called. Out of nowhere. Blocked number. I didn't recognize the voice at first. She sounded different. Tired. Shaky. Kayla, hey. It's me. I wanted to say sorry. I froze. It had been almost a year. Kayla, soft. I didn't think it'd go that far. I panicked. I was scared. Me, quietly, you were scared? You. Kayla, I wasn't in a good place. And Derek left. And everything just spiraled. I thought maybe we could talk. Like, just talk. I hung up. Not because I had nothing to say, but because saying anything would have meant she still had access to my peace. And I'd fought too hard to get it back. That's the truth. Not the one written in a university report. Not the one people whisper about over coffee. The real one. Of how love can rot. How trust can be twisted. How someone can kiss you on the forehead one day and accuse you of violence the next. I survived. But the man I was before? He didn't. Kayla killed him. Smiling. Whispering, "I love you." And stepping over his body like it was just part of the scenery. When something like that happens to you, there's no going back to who you were before. There's just who you become next. But no one tells you how lonely that version of you is. How numb. How you start walking through life with your emotions locked behind bulletproof glass, smiling only because it's expected. That's who I was after Kayla. I moved cities. Changed my number. New school. New apartment. New everything. But the past didn't feel like it was behind me. It felt like it was inside me. Coiled. Sleeping. Waiting. I started over in the most literal way. No friends. No social media. I didn't tell anyone what happened unless I had to. I'd sit in classes and pretend I was just like the rest of them, struggling with midterms, flirting in cafeterias, laughing at memes. But I wasn't. I was a guy who'd been erased. rewritten as a villain in someone else's fantasy. And some days, I didn't know if I was angry she got away with it, or terrified that a part of me still missed her. One night, I got a DM from an old friend, someone I hadn't talked to since before the collapse. He said he'd heard about Kayla, heard she was working retail now, still hopping between short relationships, no steady job, no stability. Friend, guess karma got her, huh? But I didn't feel any satisfaction, not even a flicker. Because karma doesn't fix anything. It doesn't return what was taken from you. It doesn't give you back the nights you cried in silence, or the friends who believed her lies, or the sense of self you used to have before someone took a wrecking ball to it. I dated again. Tried to. But every time a girl looked at me with softness in her eyes, something in me flinched. What if she's another Kayla? What if she's smiling now and scheming tomorrow? What if all it takes is one mistake, one misstep, and I'm on the floor again, watching someone I love stab me with a lie? I never said those thoughts out loud, but they were there. Every time. The worst part was this. I still dreamed about her. Not nightmares. Not arguments. Good dreams. Nostalgic ones. Waking up to her beside me. Her fingers tracing lazy circles on my chest. That little half-asleep smile she used to do. And I'd wake up wanting to scream. Because my brain still clung to her as if she was a memory worth keeping. Even though the real her destroyed me. Then came the letter. Mailed. Handwritten. No return address. But I knew the handwriting instantly. Kayla. My hand shook as I opened it. Not because I was scared, but because I hadn't seen her words in over a year, and suddenly there they were, raw and in ink. If you're reading this, it means I couldn't say it out loud. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I just want you to know I've thought about you every day. I know what I did. I know it's beyond cruel. I was selfish. I thought if I made you look like the bad guy, I wouldn't have to face the fact that I was the one who betrayed you. But I see it now. I see everything. I'm sorry. I hope you found peace. Even if I didn't. That was it. No signature. No request for a call back. Just a ghost. Writing from her emotional grave. I burned it. Not out of rage. But because I finally understood something. Her apology didn't belong in my world anymore. She didn't get to haunt me forever. She already got my love. My trust. My name. She wasn't going to get the ending too. So what now? I live. I trust, slowly, cautiously, sometimes in fragments. I wake up and go to work and drink coffee and sit in the sun, and sometimes, I forget what she did for a few whole hours. That's the real healing. Not forgetting her, but remembering me. The man who survived being destroyed. The man who crawled out of the ashes Kayla left him in. Not perfect, not whole, but real, and stronger than she'll ever know. The end.